Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. Andy, it is week 3, and we're going to find some winners. I think ultimately I've absorbed more bad beats to start the season than I normally have, which has got me in a not great mood to bet football. Kind of reviewing the tape and reviewing the market and kind of evaluating what I've bet. I'm not really changing anything. If I have a third week of poor sides, I'm going to have to at least downstake, if not completely revise whatever is going on, because it has not been a good start to the season. That said,
it's a small sample. It's not easy. And at the same time, we also have, a lot of adjustments to make in the first few weeks. And that's kind of where I'm at that too. And it's really tough. I always find week 3 tougher than week 2, where it's just, all right, we got a couple games, but then who'd you play? Did you play these two teams that don't do this well, or do both do this really well? So like, can I take this serious? Because, sometimes, and I say this every year, sometimes a defense looks good because they played 2 shitty offenses. Or, I've brought up the Atlanta Falcons a couple times where it's like, hey, the pass rush looks really good because there's an all-pro left tackle out for both of the teams they played. And that matters for a pass rush, obviously. And, one of them had an inexperienced quarterback. But at the same time, sometimes a good defense is just a good defense. And when you lean on stuff like that and just really lean into it, you might end up missing, the forest for the trees there. And, this actually was just a good team, or they did improve. I do think there's a decent case that Atlanta's pass rush has improved. A lot of the rookies chipped in. I just don't think it's going to look as good as it has. And there's a few teams like that.
There's also a decent chance we're not going to find out this week either way, Andy, because they're playing a Panthers team that is now without 2 starting offensive linemen, albeit interior offensive linemen, which might matter. Let's start with our Thursday night football game, where I have no opinion. The Miami Dolphins head to Western New York, to Orchard Park, New York, to take on the Buffalo Bills squad, which look like world killers right now. They are 12-point favorites, even juice here. Total sitting at 50. I guess I would make a weak case for an over here, considering the Dolphins don't field a defense, and the Bills defense, which has huge issues structurally, is also missing a ton of players, including both Ed Oliver and Matt Milano in this contest. Taron Johnson's questionable. A couple other supporting pieces questionable. Do you think, Andy, that my dream will be realized and I can clear some of my open bets on Mike McDaniel on Friday morning? Or is the general offense going to look good enough here against a beaten up Bills defense to give McDaniel another week?
This is a good point. I've kind of had my headspace around this too. Sam Lipscomb says first half over, Bills nuke the clock in the second half. Possibility. I think the way that doesn't, it probably still gets home in the other scenario. So this is why this is a good bet. If it is just the Bills come out and blast them in the first half, guns blazing, it gets there. If it's a competitive game, the Bills don't nuke the clock in the second half, but that means it was a competitive game, and that probably means Miami scored, not Miami played really good defense without all the players they have. So in that case, first half over gets there either way. I kind of like that look. And it's funny, there's a theme with this game. It feels like everybody is just like, I don't want to bet this one. I know it's a standalone game, and maybe it just turns into a game where I bet some props and that'll be fun. But boy, it is kind of an ugly line. There is maybe a case for Miami, like second half team total if they're trailing. I know the Bills might have some longer drives, but it's still such a beat up defense. Like you said, Milano matters quite a bit in the middle. They're already weak up the middle. Ed Oliver, both of those guys expected back next week. It's just a short week that's kind of screwing them over here. Cam Lewis, Shaq Thomas, Thompson, Taron Johnson. You're missing multiple players in the back seven there. Miami might get theirs. The only way I could really bet this would be taking all those points on a short week, and I'm not really excited about that. So I'm going to find some props in this one, play some first touchdown scorers from some trusted sources on that, and probably just leave it alone.
What do you think of yeah, good.
It was lower. The Allen rush yards was a little lower, and I think the angle there too is he broke his nose, and it's a team that they should just beat. You don't want to design like 7 or 8 designed rushes for him. You want him getting rid of the ball, not taking big hits, let his schnoz heal up. He's got the plexiglass windshield now, but I do like that look a little for him to just not put his body in. Because when does he put his body in harm's way too? You see it when they need it at the end of games when they're in a tight one against Baltimore and things like that in the playoffs. And I think it'd be fine. I think it was like 25, 28, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world where,
and I think you cash a bet after the game anyway.
Well, I hope so. Could use it. There's a world where Josh Allen's stat line in this game looks like 20 for 21 for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and 0 rushing attempts for 0 yards, right? Like, I don't know that the secondary is going to stop the Bills from doing whatever they intend to do through the air here, which is maybe the key point. For the second straight week, they will be without the great Storm Duck. Ray Davis overs. Good shout, Patrick.
Backup running back getting some run.
Especially if he doesn't get many touches in the first half, and then that might be our second half bet already in pencil. The general kind of question that really is still swirling for me is like how much of the dysfunction in Miami really is at the feet of McDaniel versus Tua playing to this point in the season like he's had multiple head injuries, not just this last year, but this last month.
Well, and at the same time too, the injuries haven't helped. Being thin, weak, and bad in the secondary, and then having injuries on top of it. The safety Melifanu, Storm Duck, Bonner's been banged up. Like they just Jalen Waddle popped up now too. He has a shoulder injury. That kind of another one that scares me away from Miami. Maybe it is just a Ray Davis game, guys.
Okay, so you don't have an opinion on Tua and why he's sucking.
I think it all does go to the game plan and the game plan and the scheming and the coaching.
The prep.
Like, I don't want to just get in on the bit with you. I'm serious. Like it does come down to that because I've seen him play better. Okay. And I don't know if it is just prep or what, because he's not injured. I don't know why the mechanics would suddenly go away after how many, count back in college, 10 years of competitive football. It's just it's strange, some of the overthrows.
Okay. All right. Well, as we move then to Sunday's games, the first in the rotation is Indianapolis at Tennessee. Very interesting market. Preseason line, we expected this to be about a 1.5. Opened around 3, and it has been one-way action in favor of the Colts. The Colts are now 4-point favorites on the road at the Tennessee Titans. Total is sitting at 43.5. Is this capitulation by the market that the Colts just needed to be upgraded aggressively? Or is this the overreaction we've been waiting for to get in bed with a plucky underdog at home?
That was fun. So the conversation in the Deep Dive Discord this morning was trying to pick out that who is the biggest overreaction, because shout out to Cleve TA pointing out the huge move on, what was it? The Saints into the Eagles. In week 3 last year, where the Saints moved like 6 points across 0 and closed as a 3-point favorite because they'd looked good for a couple weeks and then did not win. It was a close game, but I mean, it was kind of the start of, hey, we can just run the ball and you can't really actually win this game, even if it is close. So kind of trying to pick that one out. I don't know if it's that one. I kind of starting to believe, just based on not only the game plan and the execution by Daniel Jones and this offensive line in front of him. It's just like, we always joke about this with coaches, like, oh, there's finally grown-ups in the room. It just feels like he's in a good situation. And, when you look back at the end of the Daniel Jones tenure, and I think that's what's freshest in our mind. Like, yeah, he stunk, but there were some pretty good moments in New York at times. This is not somebody who should be paid no matter what. This is a backup that's starting because they don't want to go with Richardson. Like, he's capable of starting games. Obviously, this is about the high end is what you're going to get, but he has some weapons. He has a good coaching staff putting together a good scheme. And I mean, they were going right at Surtain. They were doing whatever they wanted at times. And it's been a couple weeks in a row. And I think there is just a little signal. He's getting protected well, and there's a good game plan. And Tennessee is yet to kind of impress at all, I guess, in any sense. I mean, Denver
had a nice touchdown pass.
Denver was sloppy. Yeah, he has a nice, and we've seen that. We saw that in the preseason. He has a nice touch. It's a very incomplete roster. Pretty much on market. Not interested in betting this one because it does feel like a hand in the cookie jar game where if you go to bat with Indianapolis here, you look pretty stupid, and I'm fine just pumping the brakes. Maybe live betting this game.
I took the 3.5 with the Tennessee Titans, so I have a bad bet in my account on that. I could have gotten 4 if I had been patient. I was basically waiting for it to tick from 3 to 3.5 and played it as soon as that happened because my fare is just on the inside of 3 here. And I have Tennessee as my last rated team, as we talked about yesterday. I just think there are enough positives in the way things are going for them that I don't mind expecting that they'll be able to at least make this a competitive contest. The defenses that they faced so far with Denver and then Denver with a healthy Surtain and then LA, like that's a tough way to start your career as a young quarterback. And there are some bright spots on this roster. Like, I did not even know who wide receiver 2 was. I've never heard of his name before. Eric Iomanor. He can freaking play, man. That guy was absolutely balling against the Rams. And I think in general, with the at least with 2 viable receivers and, a nice running attack with Tony Pollard and better pass pro in week 2 than we saw in week 1. I'm fine thinking Cam Ward can get into the 20 to 24 point range here because I'm still not sold on Colts defense at all. I think the Colts secondary in particular can be had. And I don't know that Cam Ward's going to be under as much pressure this week as he saw the last 2 weeks. So I think in general, Titans are live. I will say this about Daniel Jones and the Colts offense. The other 10 players who are out there with Daniel Jones, they are all pluses. Like everybody else on the field is good.
So it's just like he's just getting lifted up by the coaching staff, the game plan, and the rest of the team. And
I think the game plans haven't even been. I haven't even really been that impressed with what they're calling. Personally, it's just that everybody else on the field with them is good.
My pushback on they were good against a Denver defense. I'm not so sure the Denver defense is looking very good right now.
Yeah, that's
where I kind of want to. And truthfully, and Tennessee kind of got a bunch of extra chances thanks to turnovers and gaffes by the Denver offense. I'm not so sure that was like a good performance by them. Obviously, we saw what you can do to the Denver defense last week, which I know small samples, but yeah, I'm just kind of sketched out by this one right now. And I don't hate taking dogs in division at home. I kind of like what you're looking at this 4. I'm closer to 3.5, but this one wouldn't surprise me if it were just a blowout.
Okay.
It won't be high. It won't be high on my millions card, which, by the way, 4-1 last week. We did it, guys. We're working our way up. Probably going to take the quarter prize. Nobody's perfect anymore. There's no 10-0s.
If it wasn't for the leverage call, then I would have allowed your commentary there to be not laugh about it, but the leverage call didn't do great for us. So Titans for me at 3.5. Nice. I have a bad bet there. If you want to join me on Titans, you can get them for a better number than I did. I got 3.5. minus 110. So I got an especially bad number. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I did. You know what we did get out of that leverage game, by the way, though? And we haven't put it up yet, but a pretty outstanding Carly Ursay gif.
Yeah. Oh God. She is.
That was good.
She does it for me.
I got some screenshots that I'm saving for Thursday Night Football. We'll see if it's applicable. I'm not just going to force them into the.
And then maybe a good part of the reason you haven't heard of Ayumanur is he's a rookie. I mean, he's like a middle round rookie.
He's also from Stanford, who I didn't know had a passing offense.
Also, yeah, not a team I watch play football often because they're on the West Coast. So let's roll into game 2. 3.
You want to set the table here?
3. I would if I had my numbers up. It is Atlanta, Carolina, I believe.
It is.
Which is
4:53 in the rotation. Atlanta at Carolina.
A game I bet. I'm not feeling great about it, but I gotta, money where my mouth is because I'm not terribly close on this number. Took some Carolina 5.5 and 6. You can still get 5.5. There might even be a 6 out there still, but this is one too where I don't love it with the injuries, but I'm still not sold on this Atlanta defense. I'm very not sold on what Minnesota put out there offensively with JJ looking very lost, the starting running back being hurt, and just everything else with that offensive line. I think the Atlanta defense can get had, and I think Tet McMillan is he's close. He's close to being like important for this offense. I'm waiting for that to click, and it's just another one where it's too many points for a home dog in division. So the other thing I am looking at, and if I believe this to be true, if I don't believe the Atlanta defense is terribly good, then I guess it depends how you feel about the Carolina offense, but you should have two advantage for the offense, and this is a low total.
Yeah,
where I'm running some stuff here and there, and honestly, I hate to bet both side and total in a game, and boy, it'll feel very bad when this is like 28-6 Atlanta. But
that was happened last week, Andy.
I know, but boy, I do like this over as well. I might double dip this game and just get hurt hard.
The Carolina Panthers are garbage time all-stars so far.
We'll take
that. Was an absolutely unwarranted backdoor that they got last week against the Cardinals. Still salty about it. I think I want to blame a lot of the injuries as well for that. Andy,
they're just working their way into form. That's what you can see from A1 right here.
Yeah. So this total at 43, when it was 43, I don't know what it is right now. Did you already say?
I think 43.5. Let me pull up my odds board again. I closed too many tabs, Drew. Not great.
I did the same thing.
Not a smart. 43.5.
So would it surprise you to know the last time these two teams played, one of these teams made the total by themselves? 44 points for the Carolina Panthers last time they went up against the Falcons defense. Falcons in that game scored 38. The difference between those two and 6 points came in overtime. That was 38-38 heading into overtime. I don't know if you remember that game. But in general, I mean, that was indoors. So, and it was week 18 where nobody gave a fuck. So there's clearly some, asterisks, but still 43 is a little bit surprising here. I am agreeing with you that it is way, way, way too early to anoint the Falcons defense as anything better than 20th. The congratulations, you made JJ McCarthy look like a rookie when he's a rookie. Congratulations, you got pressure on Baker Mayfield when he didn't have his most important lineman out there. I just in general am not sold that their pass rush is all world yet. And that's important because Carolina without Hunt and who's the other guy that they're missing in the interior? I forgot it. Did you
keep forgetting the name of we keep forgetting the name of the center.
I know. It's like it's completely evading me.
Austin Corbett. They're both looking
Corbett.
Both are looking at probably 5 weeks, maybe 6 out. So
yep. So this is now the Cade. This is now the Cade Mays show at center, and it's now the Chandler Zavala show at right guard. But in general, with 2 healthy tackles now in Moton and Iquanu, I think you can negate some of the edge pressure, which is really how Atlanta's been making their bed pressure wise. And yeah, I mean, Bryce Young has already kind of found the 4-minute mode. That's all he knows how to play in after 2 weeks of being down 1 million points in both games, and so. Them having a little bit of success in this contest, just with the, if nothing else, garbage time would suggest that Carolina plus the points is a fair play. You're getting a lot of points. Our preseason look ahead in this one, Andy, you want to guess what it was?
Like 3, 2.5?
Atlanta plus 1.5, Andy. This is a humongous swing. I can't get there. So yeah, Carolina are pass sidewise, and total to me is a decent amount low. I ended up playing total.
You know what? I remember what I used to do, because I do think it's a little correlated. It's never great to tease, especially nowadays when prices are so shit. It's never ever good to tease totals. But man, early on, like early days of gambling Twitter, when I used to play around a little more, if I didn't like anything in a primetime game, I would always just tease the side and the total for fun. And I think there is probably maybe the slightest amount of pushing it towards almost being neutral EV if you do have a good case for correlation. I'm just saying I might go plus 12 and over 36 or whatever it comes down to. Cool. Don't hate it, but I'm probably going to play side and total. I have already played side. I'm very, very likely to play this 43.5. And not obviously on the other side, AJ Terrell, questionable. It's a hamstring, kind of feels leaning towards out to me. And if he is healthy, or if he is playing, he's not going to be healthy. And as we talked about on the offensive line, the Falcons, this is not a new injury, but Caleb McGarry is not out there. So you do have a decent case to make some pass rush against the Falcons as well. Moving on to the next game.
Raiders commies.
You know what we need to do here? The Widowmaker.
Widowmaker. It's the Widowmaker game.
It is our first one. So the Raiders are coming off a short week. They played not only Monday night, but late Monday night, extra late. Maybe not for them. While the Commanders have the extra rest from playing on Thursday night against the Packers. In addition to this, the Raiders are traveling east to play in an early slot. So lots of stuff going against them. That said, Dan Quinn basically said, well, we'll let you know who the quarterback is Friday. Like, I mean, they kind of just said it like, hey, he'll practice a little. We'll try. We'll let you know how it goes, and we'll tell you Friday. So there's a decent chance this is Marcus Mariota.
I disagree. I think it's just going to be Daniels. I think
I know, but
Commanders 3 right now.
I think it's like Mariota, healthy Daniels. Where do you have dinged up Daniels that still plays anyway? It's definitely in between there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to be fine. And I think the commies are going to get their offense going against this Raiders defense. And then on the flip side, the Raiders can score in this one, but they're looking pretty one-dimensional right now and pretty game plannable right now. If you're a defensive coordinator, I definitely can see a world where Dan Quinn and company makes this tough for the Raiders. This is commies or pass, in my opinion, and I think you're going to get decent CLV if you take the 3 now with commies. But I'm speculating. This is not inside information at all.
No, I'm leaning in. I'm like 60-40, dude. I'm not nearly as confident that we see Jaden Daniels as you. Also, keep an eye on Noah Brown. Has a groin injury. He's nursing. Obviously, they mentioned the injury from Thursday, Dietrich Wise. He's just done for the year. That's a torn up quad. He's on the IR. And then Jackson Powers Johnson, concussion for the Raiders. See if he clears. Obviously, a short week, so see how that goes.
Probably not.
Probably
what
not.
Did you? Yeah, I don't.
I'm
like
with
the
you
spot.
there.
I don't like this spot for the Raiders at all. I think they're in trouble. I took some commies. I don't know if I said that out loud, but I bet the commies.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go for them. Let's move on to Packers Browns. Stinky dog consensus play of the week for a lot of people. Apparently, I would have guessed when we saw this in the 9 range that it was going to close 10. But there's been a healthy amount of enthusiasm for the Browns this week, Andy, hosting the Green Bay Packers. Packers are down to 7.5. At some places, this looks like it's trending 7. I kind of can't believe it, but it is. The total is sitting at 41.5. In what universe Joe Flacco is able to handle this defense, I don't live in it. No. And I think that the chances that this game gets out of hand and this is the Browns sharps are back. Hey, I can't make fun because I was a Jets sharp last week.
It's 2021 again, baby.
I am on suspension of making fun of the sharps who are taking the dog shit teams against the good teams. I'm on suspension. Actually, I did it again this week at the Jets, so hopefully I get my money back. But I don't get why anyone's interested in Browns here at all.
They're at home. I'm going to start naming good things with the Browns. They're at home. They have Myles Garrett.
They have Denzel Ward.
Yeah, I think that might be it. That's the list. Flacco looked a little dustier, and this defense looks like they're playing with their fucking hair on fire. It is something else right now, and I worry that Flacco doesn't play this whole game. They did that last week where they stuck some Gabriel in. He's not going to have any better luck. It's not like they're going to pull the starters on this defense. I think this total's still too high. I'm probably going to tease the Packers here. Road favorites are like the worst of the 4, but I'm going to start doing some more teasers. Packers will find their way into a teaser leg, but I'm honestly interested in this under because I think this is a decent chance for the Browns to not score 10 points.
How about this, man? Secret pod play. Browns team total under 17.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Would you go under 16.5? Because it might open as a favorable under 16.5 as opposed to or a gnarly juicy 17.5. I don't know. They don't usually open flat.
No, I think it'll be 17.5, like minus 125.
17.5 minus 125. Good candidate for secret pod play.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the Spidey sense is I can't wait to hear what the practice rep split looked like this week compared to last week between how many snaps Gabriel's getting versus Flacco in preparation for this game, because this feels like a pull the starter at halftime kind of deal.
Yeah, this is a good point too. The kicker does suck ass for the Browns.
16.5 is the new 17.5. It's good, man.
Sam Bloomquist. Let's see. Yeah, some legal books will have it.
162 is not.
We'll do better than that.
162.
We'll do a little better than that.
Yeah.
I may play this under. It's on the dance card.
Okay. Otherwise, no interest in betting that game. I will say though that we have to tune in tomorrow for Deep Dive Daily Awards Talk, where we give Andy flowers for buying at the exactly correct time on the Jordan Love MVP bandwagon.
It's been a while since I had a good buy in the awards market.
I just want to say one quick thing about the Packers. I saw your power rankings. I've seen others. I see the market. I'm still high on the Packers. I can't believe it. They're my number 2 power rated team at a 5.5. I'm projecting them right now to have the second highest wins in the NFL with 12.6. Right now, Buffalo, which is my number 4 power rated team, I have finishing with the most wins at 13.1. This is obviously because of schedule. But yeah, right now I'm projecting Green Bay to be your 1 seed in the NFC.
I need them to get healthier, and they'll be up there with Philly and Baltimore, Buffalo. Like, get these.
Not expecting Zach Tom and Banks to be good this week? I thought they were going to be back.
Both questionable, but leaning towards in on both of them. I'm more talking about the wide receiver core. Now that we're done with one extra guy, it would be nice to get Watson back as well.
Well, Green Bay is coming off of extra rest from Thursday Night Football, and while this isn't traditionally a Widowmaker spot, it is very possible that Michael Parsons kills Joe Flacco in this game and actually does make Joe Flacco's wife
terrible. Oh no,
it is possible.
Mrs.
Flacco. It's possible.
We don't. I hope Joe pulls through.
We'll see. All right, moving on to. Hey, RIP and peace, both quarterbacks.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. We have a battle of backups, Andy. The market has settled at a fair of Minnesota -3. Wrong, in my opinion. The gap between these two teams, considering the other injuries that exist for the Vikings, is nil. So why the Vikings are warranting 3 points of home field advantage is beyond me. I think Bengals plus the 3 is one of the sharper bets of the week. And I know I'm going to war with Jake Browning and a bad defense, but I like Browning and Zach Taylor's scheme. I got to say, man, I've fallen for it. I fell for it with 2023. I'm falling for it again. It doesn't always look good, but it scores points.
Yeah, obviously the Burrow news sucks. Shamar Stewart, not likely, but the big injury news is all across the Vikings front with Darisaw starting to ramp up. That seems kind of unlikely
Starting to
as
ramp
well.
up means, are they even taking him to Europe?
It's like what Wirfs did last week. Hey, Wirfs is, involved a little with the team. Yeah, he's not playing, guys. I feel like that's where we're at with Darisaw coming off the ACL, MCL. Justin School, his backup, has a concussion. Ryan Kelly still has a concussion. Andrew Van Ginkel has a concussion. Harrison Smith has some unknown illness that has kept him out. I don't know what he's dealing with. But he's a tough guy, so I worry that it's something serious. He's been out for a couple weeks now. Okuda has a concussion in their secondary. This has some whiffs of just, oh yeah, that's what Jamar Chase can do. Like, again, the only positive for the Minnesota team is like, hey, you're at home and you have, I don't know. Like, I believed in this defense last year. It should have carried over, but it's just too injured right now to be a good defense.
Of course.
And then it's really hard to put any faith in Carson Wentz.
No, there are the injuries to the Vikings defense.
This is the handicap.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Absolutely. Wentz behind this O-line. Good luck. The pass rush for the Bengals is fine. Like, that's their one shining strength on defense. I think they're gonna put Wentz in a little bit of a difficult spot. I have no takeaways from what Wentz did last time he was under center for the Chiefs in that 40-0 loss against the Broncos or whatever that atrocity was. But the idea that Wentz is a late addition to this team and is going to be effective under center is just really, really tough for me to buy. I know Kevin O'Connell is a witch. I know he is capable of doing absurd things with getting his quarterbacks to perform at levels that seem impossible, but I'm more interested in seeing that in the Steelers-Browns game than I am here in such short notice.
Yeah. And the other issue too is, and I know Wentz took some extra work last week because JJ was off having his baby, but Wentz was signed on August 24th. That is basically 3.5 weeks ago, guys. He did not spend all of camp with Minnesota. He did not spend all of preseason with Minnesota. He's fairly new and he's getting thrown in here, and he's going basically with a third string, probably left tackle against last year's sack leader. So we'll see how that goes for him. I mean, you joked about this before the pod. You saw my power numbers. You're like, so you're betting Cincy? Like, yeah. It kind of does make sense now that I've worked my way through it. So not only that, I played some Cincy plus. I played some Cincy plus 140 to win the game as well.
I like that. Sam brings up Sam Bloomquist, not Sam Lipscomb, brings up the classic Lockie Lockerson double fallen hero spot. I liked this comment not just because it brought up our good friend Lockie Lockerson from days of old, but the double fallen hero spot, is that where like you have two backup quarterbacks and the total adjusts too much down and it's just a rocking chair over? I can't remember the specifics. So Sam, you're going to have to remind us what that is. But the total is at 41, which does feel low considering the injuries to the Vikings defense and the skill position players that are going to be out there. Hey guys, we got a game with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and the total is 41. Good. Don't you dare touch that under. Yeah.
Fair chance for a defensive score. At a bare minimum,
definitely.
a defensive set us up at the 5 kind of thing.
Wentz looks god awful this week. Buy him the following weeks. Love it. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. All right, let's move on. Rams Eagles. This is a fun one to talk about.
Phillies. Oh,
Eagles.
I'm ready for October, I guess.
Well, you're caught up in the current battle between the Dodgers and the Phillies. LA, Philadelphia having a little beef this week, Andy, and it's going to get resolved on Sunday, where we have a playoff loss revenge spot for the Ramthorns. It is a 3-point game now. Not really a fair 3 though. It's like 3.25, right?
Yeah.
You got to lay a healthy fat juice if you want a 3. I don't think I can bet this because of that. My inclination here was to get involved with the Eagles at the low point, but it's just not going there. I think somebody's playing defense on this because they either really want to build up a position in the Eagles, or they're hoping limits are up later in the week and you can still get a 3. I don't really know, but I have not had access to the price I want to lay the 3 with the Eagles, but my numbers say that's right. And I am shocked to be saying this out loud because right now I feel like I'm world high on the Rams. They're my 7th highest power rated team. I don't have a huge difference between the Rams and like the Lions in terms of fair price right now, but brutal spot for the Rams. After traveling to Nashville last week, they go back to LA, and now they're on to Philadelphia. Combine that with the the fact that there's a healthy advantage for the rushing attack here for the Eagles against the Rams defense, and that the Rams never really kind of, even with all the pressure they generated, never really kind of got it against the Eagles defense, and the chances they had last year is kind of spooky for them. I don't know.
And this is one too where my numbers show a definite advantage here for Philadelphia, and it should be a Philly bet, but you're not going to get a fair 3. You're going to just pay. And I think if you do want to bet this, just, I guess, sell it out to a 4. Don't pay juice. Don't go betting -3, 120. God, it's going to land on the fucking 3 now, isn't it? I did bet this under earlier in the week, a little bit on 45. I like that as well. Obviously, the thing that scares me is you lost. I don't know if Ahkello Witherspoon was very good, I guess, but it doesn't help that you have to replace a guy back there. And then also Philly has a little bit of weakness here and there in the secondary at the same time. But it just does feel like Philly could have a gross dictate the game. We're at home. We're not going to let you have the ball much. And we can clearly just run the ball against you kind of thing. Let's not going to let this pass rush hurt our quarterback. We're just going to have designed runs. You're going to have to, spend a guy. I like how that worked. Spend a guy on the spy to make sure you're not getting killed by scrambles. And the other issue I have with betting Philly and instead of this under, I don't love this Patullo guy. I don't like what he's saying. I don't like what he's doing. They don't throw the ball downfield at all, which is, again, another case for the under. And I'm worried that about mid-season we're going to have angry wide receivers.
Is there a world where Mike McDaniel comes in to Philly this year?
Boy, it's one thing to fire an OC. It's so hard to do it. What if you're like 9-1 and he still is just like kind of a dud?
Well, it's just funny
you can't
because
fire a guy.
Didn't they brought in Fangio out of Miami for, at first he was like a defensive advisor, and then they just made him D-cord, right?
Yeah. It's hard to just fire an offensive coordinator if you're winning. They could bring someone in as, I think the only way that happens, you bring him in as like a consultant, and he's actually a big part of it. And in name, they're not mentioning him much, but they'll mention it once in the broadcast. Hey, Mike McDonald landed up, Mike McDaniel landed up here. Can't say his name. I got to move on. So a little bit on the under. I can't bet Philly. I don't like it.
3 quick thoughts. The tush push ref shit. Yeah, I'm not interested in the discourse at all. I find it tedious, and there's a lot of other things to talk about with football. So talk about that, please. And if it's a point of emphasis for the refs, I'm going to be annoyed. I don't think I can really bet into it, expecting that. I want to mention for the defensive side,
I think that's
the
a
Rams,
negative for Philly, though. The fact that it's being discussed, the fact that they got into, kind of litigating how the Chargers should line up on that play after it got discussed. So that's a negative for Philly, and that's another positive for the under.
You can't make a bet based on that, though.
No, I'm saying it's keeping me off of Philly, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so we're talking on this through, and it actually is making the under sound pretty good. So the pass rush for the Rams was really good in that playoff game last year in the link. But that said, like, they've been good so far this year. They've gone up against two teams with fully broken offensive lines. Like the Texans and Titans is not exactly world, that's not true test of NFL strength of the offensive line. Now you basically get the first.
This is Landon Dickerson territory.
Yeah, the
face of the NFL.
Protector of the year, Landon Dickerson. The pass rush not being super effective for the Rams. Defense might rear its head. And have you gotten the sense that McVay has ever solved Fangio?
No, and he's hurt. McVay has a torn plantar fasciitis.
McVay does?
Yeah, he's injured. I think he's going to be out there. He might be out on there on one of those little rolling
scooter.
Carts, dude.
He's going to be on a scooty?
I don't know for sure, but I'm dreaming of it. I want to see that.
He's probably going to be on the one that it's like the trike, right? He'll be on the trike.
I would think so.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's just the facts are what McVay does, which works against most everybody else. It's just for whatever reason never really works against Fangio. Until it does, I just have that note in the back of my head always. All right.
This would be hilarious if there's a clear fuck up by the refs and he's trying to challenge it and he can't get to it because he's on a scooter. He can't get to his thing and they run another play. And we have a legitimate big play that doesn't get overturned because of the injury. I would be dying. That would go down in infamy as an all-time, wow, how are we supposed to see that coming? Yeah, the hospital bed you freeze. Jesus. All right, moving on. I'm not betting
Pittsburgh Steelers are favored at the Patriots, Andy. Do you know the Pittsburgh Steelers are favorites on the road at the Patriots?
Which is weird. The Patriots looked better last week.
They played the Dolphins, so you got to take it with a little grain of salt.
I'm very close in this number. And
are you really? You have the Pittsburgh Steelers that much better than the Patriots right now?
I'm going to pick them.
Wait,
downgrade.
I call bullshit. Let me look at your power ratings, man. You have Pittsburgh. Oh shit, your Pittsburgh number is way higher than mine. Okay, so you have Pittsburgh at around even, and you have New England at -2.5. Okay, so that checks out. You are about there. This is
one of my highest home fields as well.
Pittsburgh is a -1.68 for me. New England is a -2.48. So we agree on New England. We are disagreeing about Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's offense is bad. I think Aaron Rodgers is washed. I think the offensive line has questions. I think the skill position group has questions. And I think the defense is on middling alert. I don't think they're going to be bad this year, but they're certainly not good enough as currently rostered to be difference makers in the NFL. I don't think Alex Highsmith being out for this game matters. He is maybe one of their better defensive pieces. I don't think Joey Porter Jr. in or out really makes that much of a difference. Jalen Ramsey's doing a nice job in the secondary. TJ Watt has been a disappointment so far this year. And overall, I think the Steelers are in the 20s, high 20s, not high 20s, the 20 to 25 range for defense as currently who's healthy and available.
Which is crazy.
And I think New England's going to be able to move on them.
I did give them a little bump in week 2 because the offense looked palatable. had to take that right back away. And the defense, I gave them over a full point downgrade last week. And maybe I didn't go far enough, but New England is hard to grade for me. We'll see what the injury situation with Gonzalez is. He matters quite a bit. That would help quite a bit on this defense. But Highsmith is out. He's probably back next week. Porter's questionable. Loudermilk is IR. He's going to be gone for a while. What is it? Deshaun Elliott, questionable as well. Yeah, the defense stinks and it's kind of banged up. I get where you're coming from. The offense took a clear step back, but truthfully, they played a close game last week against what we consider to be a halfway decent team. That score doesn't look so bad if we don't have the world's dumbest kick returner. Then it's just a one-score game. It's a one-score game where Rodgers had what, 3 pretty bad flubs. Like they still
happen again.
That'll never happen again. No, but that's what I'm saying. I can't make them like some huge negative. At worst, I could go another half point down. Tim's pointing out Gonzalez's practice today. I saw that. That's ideal.
I also think the Patriots defense is going to look a little bit better as the weeks go on. They're going through something weird with the coach there. It's worth noting. I don't know why this isn't more broadly covered, but the D coordinator is just like, he got sick at the end of camp and took him to the hospital. He hasn't been around
stuff. Yeah.
And I think they've kind of figured out finally who is actually in responsible charge in the building, and the defense should start to look a little bit better week by week. And a good opportunity to look better is you get one of your better player backs in Christian Gonzalez, and you get to play Aaron Rodgers. So the flip side of the coin, Drake May does look good. The problem is he played the Dolphins, so it might have just been that. So I think if Drake May can make some plays this week against the Steelers, he's going to get upgraded by market if he plays well this week against the Steelers. But that also might be mixed signal. So Patriots money line for me.
Lean Patriots might end up as a contest pick.
Okay. New York Jets versus the Buccaneers. I took 7.5 with the New York Jets, expecting that we were not going to see Mr. Fields, and this was going to be the Tyrod Taylor show. And I honestly think that happened early enough in the week that it's a positive for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor can, target Garrett Wilson 18 times and hand the ball off the other 23 plays and hopefully keep this thing competitive. Tampa Bay, we learned about the Jets again, like I'm coming off of a bad beating, best look of the year, hopefully for me, playing the Jets last week against the Bills. But, the Jets are not rostered, particularly with Fields under center, to come back from deficits. And their defense has issues against good quarterbacks, certainly. I don't know that I am totally sold on what Tampa Bay is doing right now in the absence of Wirfs, and now adding Godeke to the mix in terms of unavailable people is bad.
Yeah, he ain't playing.
Taking Cansey out, I think, matters. This Bucs team is they're kind of, everything is, I think, working out fine. Like I'm gonna give you a positive spin zone on this. If you're this beat up now and playing this meh now,
so I said
getting
today,
those wins,
they get the lucky wins at the right time. They're going to get healthier. They're going to play shittier teams.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to look back.
Things are breaking correctly, I think, for this team.
Yes.
There will be a window of time coming up to fade the Bucs and look at their schedule, and you can see when. But I think they get an ugly win against the Jets, so I took the points at 7.5, and I'm hopeful that Tyrod Taylor still knows how to play football. We'll see.
Yeah, you got a good number. My numbers are a little high for Tampa. I haven't fully adjusted to where my brain is at, because if you go back and look, and it's like Baker has thrown some interceptions, they just weren't caught. And they were kind of lucky in the late game scenarios there with the amount of time and the time management, honestly, as they went and scored that winning game-winning touchdown there. And then also the, Koo missing the kick, that was helpful as well. I kind of want to fade this team, I've said, but it just doesn't feel like a great week, especially now that the number is crossed 7.5 or 7, excuse me. I was waiting for news, kind of missed the boat. You can read the tea leaves when honestly, the tea leaves probably said the other way. Like, oh, it's crossing. Like maybe he's going to play. Maybe, all this Jets money's coming in. It's going to be Fields, but it is not going to be Fields. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor. But again, Tampa Bay is still pretty beat up. Now you're missing 2 offensive linemen, like you said, Wirfs and Gedeke. Godwin's still not coming back. Cody Mauch, the guard from North Dakota, he's got a knee thing. Cansey's out for a long time with the torn up pec. Like they are pretty banged up. The quarterback position matters a lot. And the only other thing too is the Jets secondary is a little beat up as well. So kind of mild lean to this over as well, since it is not up on the gross turf of the Meadowlands. It's in Tampa, but Tampa's on a short week. So I missed the number. I'm leaving this one be.
Okay. I actually would not play it at 6.5 either. This is not going to be featured in my best bet segment at the end of this pod. The Houston Texans are at the Jacksonville Jaguars, Andy. And I think, let me talk about the market first here. We are looking currently at Jags -2, total 45. Jags -2 plus, or let's take away home field. No, what's home field for you nowadays? Like 1.82
for the
like
Jacksonville Jaguars, 1.37.
1.27. So there's a residual if you take home field away from this too. And that would say that residual speaks to the Jaguars being more favorably power rated than the Texans.
By a little bit.
Agree or disagree?
In my numbers, they are slightly worse than the Texans.
Okay.
And it's quarter point.
Okay. I want your opinion on this. My difference between the Texans preseason and now is actually flat. Okay. When we came into the preseason, the Texans were what by market? They were
mine's lower.
Let's see here. Preseason, the Texans were a +2 by the market, Andy. The market has now moved them to a -0.6. Okay. I was at a 0. I am at a 0. So this is a case where the market has cooled so fast on this team that they have now come from being one of my bigger edges off market low to now being off market high on the Texans. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I started at about a half point above 0 for them rather than the 2. I wasn't as low as you, but I was off market low, and I'm down to about a -1. And some of that is just, you cannot have a functional offense with an offensive line like this. It's just going to be so difficult to do it week in and week out. Truthfully, not terribly interested in this game. I'm interested in the results. I'm absolutely excited to see how this one turns out and watch it. But boy, this is not one I'm super excited to get involved in, because my numbers are close and I have so many question marks about the Jags.
I love the Texans in this spot. Love.
I mean, numbers aside,
I think the Jags.
What do they do well?
I think the Jags defense sucks. I think this Jags defense is going to finally allow breathing room for the Texans to look decent offensively. And I know like the Jags can rush the passer. I'm not an idiot. Like they have very capable pass rushers. They have advantages against this Texans offensive line for sure. But like the amount of reps that CJ Stroud is getting now under duress, and just the kind of continual adjustments that the offense has been forced to make, and the reps in the system for Nico finally kind of getting the offense, adding Christian Kirk back, having a healthy Dalton Schultz still. Like I think the passing offense for the Texans is going to look pretty good this week, and I think that's going to be enough for them to carry the day. The Jags' dysfunction offensively is not being covered as much as it ought to be. I don't know what's going on with Brian Thomas Jr., but they are really, really, really trying to find volume for him in this offense, and he is not anywhere close to right enough to be worthy of that. And I don't know if they eventually shift away from it, and I don't know if that's this week. But a bad week to be trying to figure out how to fix an offense that is scoring points but not right. Bad week for that against this Texans defense, I think. Trevor Lawrence is not making good, quick decisions, right? Like, he's not making good decisions on time, but he's especially not making good decisions when things speed up. And I think the pass rush for the Texans is going to force some pretty gross mistakes from him this week. So Texans plus money, pretty fired up about this. I think the Jags are like a -2, and I think the Texans are still about a neutral.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree a little bit because I just hated seeing what Houston did with their offense and some of the scheming and adjustments as the game went on. I think, and a couple people have pointed this out in the chat, I think they have another bad OC. And, I mean, just if you want to simplify it to its finest point, Nico Collins is a top 5 wide receiver when used properly. And it sucks that he has an offense with no offensive linemen, but they basically just stopped going to him after that touchdown. Like, what was the game plan in the second half for big chunks of it? It's probably an easier defense you're going up against, and I think this is going to be a close game. But boy, I just worry that the Houston offense won't take advantage of spots when they need to. So I'm passing on this one pretty hard. Christian Kirk, but somebody mentioned Christian Kirk. Yeah, he's questionable if he plays. That's a huge boon for them too. And I mean, I can say all the same things about this offense for the Jags too. It looks a little House of Cardsy.
Okay. Well, Texans being 0-2 on the road against the Jags as dogs. This one's got Andy, like you brought up the which game. Which game are we going to look back on week 18 and be like, wow, it feels like this one?
It could be. They need this one. You know, they don't want to go 0-3. This is like the NBA playoffs. Nobody wants to be down 0-3.
No. No.
We'll see. And this is interesting. We'll get to this game in a minute, but they are saying
can't lose, or is this a must win or a can't lose, Andy?
It's a must win.
Okay.
There's a big difference, and we'll get to that someday. Purdy may play this week, according to Shanny, who is a fucking liar.
Yeah, when they said last week it was going to be a multi-week injury, you know what I said?
You're a liar.
Purdy's coming back next. Oh, so Purdy's coming back next week? Okay. Yeah. But now he might be lying the other way, and it might be season ending for Purdy. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Saints, Nolans.
Don't love the spot for the Saints. The Saints were plucky tryhards 2 weeks in a row. Both of those came at home. Both of those came against somewhat flawed defenses. Now they are on the road against a top 5 unit, clear top 5 unit, in my opinion, for the Seattle Seahawks. This total has been bet up to 42. The 7.5s got snatched. Somebody came and bet the 7.5s for the Saints. It's 7 now, albeit you got to lay a juicy -118 if you want the 7 points, or if you want to lay the 7 points. The Saints shutout could be possible. I think their team total under is probably worth a look. I think the full game under 42 is worth a look. I'm not excited about the Seattle Seahawks offense at all. You kind of mentioned when we were talking about the Steelers that they were right in there with the team that we think might be good. I don't know that I think the Seahawks are going to be any good. This is my 28th rated offense right now, 4th rated defense. They're a -1.6 for me. If this was in New Orleans, I'd probably be slamming the table making a case for the Saints, but I can't say it. It makes me excited to bet them here in this spot with this home crowd. So good luck to anyone who wants the points with the Saints.
We did skip Broncos Chargers.
Did we?
Yeah, we'll do that one next. Whoops.
Oh,
good call.
Didn't you say Saints?
I did. That's on me. My eyes. Yeah. We'll get to that one next. I bet the Saints. I took the 7. Yeah, I took the 7.5. I'm a little lower in this defense. I love what they're doing, stopping the run at times, but man, Purdy carved them up a little at times in that first game. I know the score doesn't look like that, but they looked like this is still a secondary unit that can be had. I know Purdy and the gang is probably a little better than Spencer Rattler and the Goons from New Orleans. It's a road game for them. It's still kind of indoorsy. We'll see what the weather's like, but it's just too many points because I like this defense. I'm not as high as you. I have them as my 10th best defense right now based on some of the things they've done against the run and, the pass rush being a little better than we'd hoped. But this offense is just so low for me that I can't get to a 7 against anybody.
Two questions for you, Andy. First is, what's your favorite Saints Seahawks playing in Seattle memory?
Am I supposed to remember a game?
There's one very, very famous game.
I'm 40. I can't think of it.
The Saints went to Seattle in the playoffs.
Oh, the Beastquake! Thank you.
Meaningful favorites and got beaten by I think it was a 7-9,
7-9 because there were 16 games.
Thanks to Marshawn Lynch in the Beastquake game.
I can tell you what it's crazy. Like now that you mentioned, I can tell you what bar I was in. It is no longer a bar. It's one of those places that will drive you to the airport in a van.
Yeah.
But I remember like, oh my God, they're going to lose. And then that run, that was crazy.
Incredible. Second question is same wavelength as Jonathan Prophet. Seattle's first survivor. They're going to be a pretty popular play because
I think we only use it once.
They have zero future utility. The stew of how to decide on a survivor should come down to win probability, how many people are using them in your pool, and what is the future value of this team. And there is very, very, very little future value for Seattle. So it's going to be very, very, very tough to make a case not to take them this week.
And I bet against them again on the ATS. The 7.5 early in the week. Yeah. We're wrong. Obviously, it's moving a little bit my way, which feels nice. I will still absolutely make the case that we need to use them in at least one. Because they have, like you said, just zero future utility. It should be a spot where they at least get this home win.
Do you think it'll be the most popular play?
I 100%. Just looking, because I mean the
40% of the pool. What kind of number are we talking about?
So the biggest favorite being on a Thursday helps that because a lot of people won't want to use a Thursday game. Reaching. I mean, there will be people that turn in early if they want to use the Bills, but the Bills have better spots as well. The Bills have like 10 other spots you could use them if you really want.
Their future value is very, very high.
Yeah, so I think it's the most popular for sure.
They're not. The future value is not completely one-sided to where it makes sense to use all of your picks on Seattle, in my opinion. But I think they're a must-use on at least one entry. Do you want to put them on the chalk entry or chalk entry?
No, that would have been my suggestion.
Okay.
The Denver Baltimore one.
The other time to use the Seahawks later in the year would be potentially hosting the Minnesota Vikings week 13 and Carson Wentz.
Max Brosmer.
It's going to be the. They signed somebody in.
They signed Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
It's gonna Desmond Ritter. He's on the practice squad. He ain't playing. All right, let's move backwards in time to Denver Chargers, which is crazy because I almost certainly won't bet this game. But of the late games, this is the one I want to watch. Like it's crazy to have a massive leverage game this early in the season because there's so much season left. But this is a massive leverage game. The Chiefs are 0-2. You've got some juice flowing from the Chargers. That's a lot of fun, but Denver can absolutely, knock their dick back down in the dirt. And it's a fun competition for who's going to steal the crown, I guess. And honestly, KC might just figure it out, guys.
Interesting.
This is I'm very excited to watch this.
We'll get to KC because I don't have anything on the KC Giants really, so that'll be a fun place to talk about KC. But it sounds like we might disagree on that. Chargers win here puts them 3-0 in division through 3 weeks, which is insane that they've had 3 divisional games in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Schedule makers, what are we doing? But the Chargers
Thanks,
are going to be
Amazon.
favored. Yeah, seriously. Chargers favored in every regular season game until week 14 when they play Philly. They may be favored in that game by the time we get there. Who the hell knows? But this is their chance to really sprint out to not just a potential home playoff game, but maybe a couple. 1 seed is possible for the Chargers, considering how soft their schedule is. But this is a really, really important game. Now, they have to do it on short rest, and they were playing the late game in Vegas on Monday. Turn around playing a divisional opponent on short rest is going to be tough. But the Broncos might suck.
There's a chance that defense just isn't as good.
And the offense.
What is your?
And Bo Nix definitely might suck.
What is your Chargers rating, Drew? The Fonz just asked, and boy, as dark as my timeline was with people arguing about the stupidest shit, it was nice. It was nice to see Henry Winkler catching some largemouth and some trouts and whatnot, some fish. He really brings me joy. So we like the Fonzarelli. I'm at a 2.26. That was just me vamping for time.
I'm at 2.34.
A little higher than me.
But we are on the same page there. And they're my sixth best team.
My number for this game is minus 3.03, taking into some home field and then taking away a little from Houston because they are on short rest. So I'm interested to watch this. What I'm watching for is Denver's defense ever going to start to look good again? Are the Chargers going to continue to be this pass happy team, which is kind of exciting if they would. That would be, it's fun because Herbert's good. Although the funniest play from the whole game was Herbert having like infinite time to look, and he's just standing back there. He's not even like shuffling around, just infinite time. And then he throws it right at a guy on the wrong team and he drops it.
Yeah. That was funny. Second half for Herbert was bad for some reason. And in general, it felt like they just kind of took their feet off the gas and put the good plays away for this Broncos game. So worth monitoring. But the Herbert Hive and Herbert MVP hopefuls we're excited that they got that win. And this one would be even more exciting because Herbert's playing some good ball right now overall. And a ton of it comes down to the fact that his skill position group all of a sudden is pretty legit.
Johnson cut a ball.
They haven't even been pressing the Lad McConkey button as much as I would have guessed. They're going relatively light on Lad.
It's the only button that works.
Omari and Hampton is not breaking out, and yet the offense looks pretty good. Pass protection has been great, and Herbert can absolutely throw a beautiful ball.
The big worry was losing Slater, and it hasn't really reared its ugly head again.
Pipkins does some dumb things from time to time, but not like consistently bad enough to be a problem. He's not.
This is a really good pass rush. That'll be an interesting too.
Pipkins is no James Hudson, tell you that much. James Hudson, of course, has been the worst player to take the field from any team on either side of the ball to this point in the season.
Besides JJ McCarthy.
He was the NFC Player of the Week. What are you talking about?
So weird. It's going to be funny when he just absolutely flames out and they have that on his Wikipedia page. Anything else here?
Sam Bloomquist mentions Broncos division futures holding up for dear life. I've written mine off. I don't think it's realistic at all at this point.
No,
I think if the Broncos
this week
get to the playoffs, it's going to be because they coach up Knicks to playing much better football.
The defense has to look like it did last year. Like this week, the defense has to be like beast mode, and then I'll be back in. But right now, I'm not feeling great.
Yeah, there's a real world where a clip gets circulated that would have broken your brain in August. And that clip is Quentin Johnson torching last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain. Right? Like Pat Surtain dealing with an ankle injury, not playing well. And his Colts game tape was super, super questionable. Riley Moss also not playing well. Like the cornerback position for the Broncos is an issue right now. If I'm going to bring it up on Sunday because it's going to happen. I feel like Quentin Johnson beating Pat Surtain. I'm going to be like, can you imagine what like future you or, if we went back in time to our AFC West preview day, and I said, hey, look at this clip of Quentin Johnson having his breakout season, just destroying Pat Surtain, you wouldn't believe it was real. You'd be like, a nice AI generated video there, buddy. I know better than to believe this. But that's where we are right now. So Broncos are in trouble. Period. And I'm not seeing I'm kind of confused more than anything of what in the hell Sean Payton was doing this preseason, this offseason preseason, just pumping the tires on Knicks. Like, was he just trying to get his confidence up so he took some more chances or something? Like, what was he doing? Was he delusional?
I don't know. Give him time too. I think we just need time in this team because we saw it last year. It doesn't just go away. Especially more so in the defense than Knicks. Like, I'm fine Knicks taking a step back. This defense looks like a bottom 15 defense, and that's just not going to happen.
They played a pretty favorable schedule of quarterbacks last year, man. I'm starting to get nervous.
It still has to be. It doesn't have to be number one, but it still has to be somewhere near the top 12. So I do think that comes around here. We'll see. And then obviously we are missing Khalil Mack from the Chargers as well. He's going to miss several weeks with the busted up elbow. I bet the Cowboys. I took a very cheap -1 because I didn't like the money line price. I waited a little bit, but 30-second handicap on this because I don't have a lot other to say than this is like the Bears defense is very bad right now. And, a lot of the Bears fans are complaining about not fixing the offensive line. That's a problem too. But the biggest problem is like teams are just able to crush the secondary. And the Vikings have a very good receiver, maybe not a good quarterback. The Lions, I don't know, depending how you feel about everybody, they're still breaking in a new OC. But at times they made him look bad. Even the Vikings in the fourth quarter, which is like, oh my God, they're just getting whatever they want here. I've seen nothing but positives from how they're using CeeDee Lamb and how they're using George Pickens. Yeah. And I mean, it's just basically one matchup for me here is the Cowboys should be able to continually move the ball in chunks and score. And even on the drives that might get kind of stopped short, they're just going to kick 60-yard field goals and make all of them. Like the Cowboys scoring on like 8 of 9 drives in this game is very much on the table. I don't give a shit. Bland, I don't think is going to play. I'm leaning towards him out. That matters. He's important. We saw the Giants go moonball in their ass. I don't know that Caleb has that in the bag. It's just like, Jalen Johnson and everybody's hurt for the Bears secondary, and they're going to get what they want. We saw what they did against the Eagles. Like, hey, but let's just pick on the bad guy, and CD is going to have 15 targets today. They're all bad in the secondary. So Bears road win for me here. Or excuse me, the Cowboys road win for me here. I'm making about 2.25.
What do you think of Cowboys team total over?
It's a high total too. So you're talking like what, 26,
25
probably
25 and a half.
I'm guessing they put it at 26 and just make it even or something. They like to do stuff where it's just a little bit higher.
You're going to be.
I don't hate that.
No, I'm projecting more points than that from the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm projecting 40.
Mm-hmm. Where's Dak Prescott for you right now in QB ratings?
Decent. Let me look right now. So it's it's still QB OC for me, but he's a top 10 quarterback. It's the two big guys and Love now, and then Herbert's right there, and then you have that second tier of good but not great, which feels blasphemous to say about Pat, but Pat, Baker, Stafford, Jalen Hurts, just because again we're putting the OC in there, and Goff and Dak are kind of all there, and then there's a drop off. And who's your next guy with Burrow out? Maybe it's Daniel Jones.
That's crazy.
Eberflus revenge game.
I couldn't put him that high.
No, I'm joking. My next one is like from there. It's like Trevor and Arizona, Kyler Murray.
I have Geno Smith and Kyler Murray and CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's a pretty big mess through the middle class of just.
Dallas for me. I mean, QBOC, what we're seeing from Dak to this point in the season, Tier 1 is very clear, Buffalo, Baltimore. Tier 2 is a mess between Chargers, Packers, Eagles, Dallas, and Rams, and Chiefs. But that's a little speculative, honestly, with what we've seen so far. So yeah, top 7. I agree. Let's talk through. I mean, we'll come back to the secret pod play, but I think Dallas over is live. What are the chances we get to the end of the year and the Dennis Allen hire looks pretty dumb? Like for every Vic Fangio hiring a retread that succeeds, there's a Mike Zimmer hiring a retread that flames out aggressively. Is Dennis Allen potentially in that category?
I don't want to put him there. I feel bad because of the personnel. You know, I'm going to blame it more on the personnel.
Okay. I agree with this is going to be a boat race. The Dallas defense for me is rating 30th. And honestly feels kind. If there weren't worse defenses, they would be last. Right.
Of my projected totals, this is the highest for the week. It's that, and then Atlanta, Carolina, Buffalo, Miami are kind of in the same tier.
Okay. Cardinals.
Cardinals. We just mentioned Purdy might play. We never know. You never know. I haven't adjusted for that yet. This is a weird one too. I'm a little off market. I'm lower on McCorkle, I guess. I don't want to bet this game though.
You're lower on McCorkle?
Lower on McCorkle than the market, yeah.
Is McCorkle Mac Jones?
Yes, he is. That's his name.
Okay. I played the over here. I'm not sold at all that San Francisco's defense is good. I still have them rated 22nd. I think Mac Jones and company are fine. And the fact that Arizona is dealing with a cluster injury in the CB room is notable. I'm not expecting Will Johnson to go. No. They put one of the guys on IR, and Max Melton, I think, is questionable, but I'm kind of leaning out for him. So Arizona might be just full-on backups in the secondary, which means they can't do any of their fancy, exotic, fun shit. And Kyle Shanahan should have a field day scripting fun ways to get Mac Jones and Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings maybe involved in this game. So expecting San Francisco to score and expecting San Francisco's defense to have some issues with Arizona, particularly if this is more like a Kyler Murray has to run at times game, because that's how I would attack them if I would do a lot of Zach Ertz targets, and I would do a lot of Kyler Murray scrambles in this game if I was Arizona trying to get this win.
Yeah, Melton I think is out. Johnson I think is out, and they have not all defensive players, but it looks like 12 guys on the IR/PUP. It is a very beat up team. My numbers disagree with taking the Niners, but I don't think I could back this team against Shanahan after he schemed up the big. Somebody in a chat said it was the FU John Lynch game, which is funny to me because coaches are petty. So yeah, I'll sit this one out. I wish you the best of luck. And if it is a good Shanahan game against a secondary is missing a bunch of pieces, I mean, sorry, Arizona.
Yeah. Not sure I entirely agree with the steam, but it's between 0 and 3. So whatever. Could just be soft. Yeah. All right. Points. Police. That would be good. KC and, New York Giants
Sunshine Band?
Our Sunday Night Football, Andy. As they drew it up, a battle of 2 0-2 teams on Sunday Night Football. Although there's more drama in this game than I think you would have thought when the schedule makers put this one out. You would have thought, oh my God, you're really sending Kansas City and mighty Pat Mahomes to New York week 3 against an 0-2, likely 0-2 Giants team that can't get out of their own way. Like, this is going to be a 10, 12 point game. Like, why would you put that in prime time? It's actually only a 6-point game. Total sits at 45 right now. And I think this speaks to a lot of concern about how to rate the Chiefs right now. I was a bit surprised to see where your Chiefs number was, not because I'm like wildly off low, but I kind of thought I was in a bit of an island having the Chiefs down in the +2 range. But you are at +2.41. I'm at +2.25. We're pretty dang close that the Chiefs are not a remarkable squad. Most of the issues for me with my rating the Chiefs is the skill group just is not very good right now in the absence of Worthy and Rice.
That's it, man.
But the defense has taken a big chunk. I've taken a lot of heat off this defense since where we rated them when we did the preview pods. The secondary is incomplete. We're getting a lot of snaps and focus on the Tremere Connors and Jalen Watsons of the world, and the quality of play from the safeties hasn't been good enough to make up for some of their coverage issues. Trent McDuffie, kind of the only guy who's worth the damn in the secondary right now, and he's playing out of position, it feels like, not playing out of the nickel. So a lot of frustration on the Chiefs defensive side of the ball, a lot of talent deficiencies. Is there a world where the Giants shock them all and beat this team?
Well, I was going to say that last week we saw the Cowboys just were stupid and be like, "Oh, let's not just play center field and go with this too high shell that everybody hates. Like, let's let guys get behind us because Russ doesn't have a deep ball anymore." Well, of course that's what they're going to do, and they have a very good wide receiver one, which I feel like Spags is smarter than that and puts together a game plan. But man, I part of my bet last week on the under was I thought Spags would really step it up, but I'm down on this defense too. I don't know if it's all him, I think some of it is personnel at this point. And yeah, I've had to downgrade this team a little bit to just good. This is just a good team. It's not a great team like we're normally used to over the last 5 years. Once they get healthier in the wide receiver position and the offense starts to click and hum, maybe we'll be back there. But right now, yeah, this is a unremarkable team. And my numbers say bet the Giants, which doesn't feel great because that was slightly into the Giants. And I don't want any of that because it's relying on plays like we saw last week for this offense to do it, I think. And it's just not a sustainable game plan against smart defensive coordinators. So this is probably a props game, man. This is a watch it. And not only that, but boy, you can't fuck this game up. You need this win. You're 0-2. You're seeing how good the Chargers are. Like, this is going to be a game from Spags. So I kind of want to play some Russell Wilson unders.
Okay. I dig that. Russell Wilson did not necessarily save his job last week by my account. This could
I still like looking at a dart offensive player of the year.
He could get the hook.
Rookie.
He could get the hook.
It feels early. They got to win.
Does it?
Don't know. They're 0-2. You're right.
They're 0-2. If it's not looking good, this could be.
I think they still wait. Like you said, they're still waiting for Thomas.
Okay.
Worthy might play.
The Giants' first home game, right? Home opener? Yeah. Worthy might play. I don't know. I don't think so.
Seems like a bad idea.
Oh, I did say Zach Ertz. I obviously meant the
I wasn't. Guy. I was just going to leave it.
You just let it go. Trey McBride, obviously. My bad. The general vibe I have around this Giants team is there's nothing especially good to write home about outside of Malik Neighbors. But his matchup is pretty good, so maybe this is a competitive game. I honestly can't get involved anyway, and I'm mostly thinking about what's the right buy low time on the Chiefs, if at all.
Yeah, I meant offensive rookie of the year. Please do not bet Jackson Dart offensive player of the year. Don't feel like that one gets home. That one is a very tough pull.
It's a very long shot.
Yeah. I will be building up a Dart rookie position because all the running backs suck and the teams don't trust him right now. Agbuka's fine, but he's going to get his target share beat into. The unicorn isn't.
Warren.
Yeah, the unicorn is basically a mule. I don't think who's good for rookies right now.
Which one's the unicorn?
The one I can't. Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, who's your offensive rookie of the year right now? Who's the favorite?
Tyler Warren. If they voted
yeah,
today,
it is Tyler Warren. They've never, ever given it to a tight end.
Yeah, I can't.
Might be this year. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll do awards tomorrow. We'll leave it for tomorrow. I got to get running here. I got to go get the wife at some point from her work. But we should do some little bit of a recap. What was your favoriteest best bet for week 3 heading into the NFL weekend?
It is the Houston Texans on the money line at plus money. I think the Texans should be small favorite here. And the fact that you can get them at plus money, I think, is going to look pretty good when we reflect on this in a couple weeks. This Jags team, to me, still looks quite dysfunctional. The defense looks very gettable. And if there is ever an opportunity early in the season for Nico Collins to break out and just put an absolute thrashing on a team, this is it. I do not know how the Jags match up at all against this passing attack unless they're getting pressure on every single down, which could happen. And that's why we are given the gift of seeing the Texans at plus money. What about you?
I think my favorite bet is still the Cowboys. Missing Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson up against up against CeeDee Lamb. Give him 15 targets. I'd love to see him. Break who's the Miami receiver who has the receiving record? It's somebody silly. I know what team he plays for, and I can't think of his name. Someone in the comments will get him. But I'd love to see. No, it's somebody way sillier than that. Either way, CeeDee Lamb to break the receiving record this week.
The single game receiving record. This is what you're
Pickens. Talking about. I'm thinking we have a good game. And again, Cooper Beebe matters. Your center's out.
Flipper Anderson.
Thank you.
He's not a Dolphins receiver. He was named after a Dolphin. He was with the Rams.
That's a big gaffe on my part. Yeah, that's super funny. I know he's a Dolphin. Kind of.
Do you think?
You know what?
Do
I'm
you think
giving
you
partial
could
credit for that.
Do you think you could get the yardage within 20?
297.
You did not. It was 336.
336. Okay.
336.
Oh, you know what? The 297 is to break the rushing record because 296 is the rushing record from AP. Either way, Cooper Beebe out stinks, but I'm not super enamored with this interior pass rush for the Bears. So, I think they lose. What's our team total? We got to come up with our secret pod play team total. Then is it just going to be the boys.
Well, that's your best bet. So we already got action there.
It's fine. Big double up. I'm doing it in Carolina.
Well, what was the game that I don't have anything on? Oh, Browns under. Let's go Browns under.
Okay, yeah, the Browns under. That's a real Micah Parsons puts a man in the hospital. We're not going to say kill him anymore. We don't want Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's an American hero, guys. And then we've done a terrible job of picking the shower fart. I think shower fart has been entertaining, but
you know what the shower fart game of the week is, Andy?
I do.
It's Sunday. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are both not playing Sunday.
It's all of Sunday. Yeah,
it's all of Sunday. Yeah.
It is hard to it's kind of hard to pick it out. It truthfully, as much as we made a case for this over,
it's probably Saints Seahawks.
There is a case that Minnesota Cincy is bad. There's a pretty good case Saints Seahawks is bad, and Houston Jacksonville also might be bad. Truthfully, you bet it. Houston Jacksonville might be a gross game to watch.
Yes, except for
it might just be
breaking the single game receiving record.
Flipper Anderson, famously not a Dolphin, guys. We'll catch you. We had a couple good questions, but running out of time. I'm going to save these for our daily shows. Somebody asked about some futures bets. Tyler asked about making some power numbers. We'll touch on that stuff Thursday or Friday on the daily shows because we got to rip. I can't wait for the buys to start so we can do these shows a little quicker. But
we did
such as life.
128.
I thought we did 128 for having 15 games is pretty good. Once we get to bye week, we're gonna be cruising in at like
people listen to us on 1.5, so that's like an hour of content. Like
that's
you're welcome.
True. I listened to a podcast I hadn't listened to for a